Good evening. Welcome to Nanaiya Spirit Medicine. I am Nanaiya, your host this evening. Welcome back. Tonight we're going to discuss creating your reality from the fourth dimension. Very special episode. This has been channeled through by the Ethereal Three, the three divine entities who I work with personally. And it is a blessing to have this message come through from them. I don't do a lot of this, so I'm very excited to share this with you. And they would like to welcome you to the most wonderful experience called life. So please just take a moment to settle in with me. We're going to take 3 controlled breaths together, in through the nose and out through the nose. And if you're a masculine energy, please place your left hand over the center of your heart space and then your right hand over your left. And if you are feminine divine, just flip it over. And then hold that space for yourself with your eyes closed. And take in a controlled breath. And then when you hold it all the way at the apex of the lungs, drop your shoulders and just suspend the breath. And do that for a count of 4. And then release it through the nose, pushing it all the way out till that you can feel your stomach feeling kind of firm because you've pushed so hard. We want all that air out. We're going to do this together. All right, so close your eyes, sit straight please, hand over heart space, and let's begin. Breath through the nose. Suspend the breath and drop your shoulders. Release. And again, breathe in. Drop your shoulders. Release. Pushing all that air out. One more time. Breathe in. Suspend. Release. Very good. Because what we are about to talk about is often misunderstood. It's dismissed or simplified into something that sounds mystical but lacks grounding. And if you are someone who questions things, who needs coherence, who wants truth that actually holds up under scrutiny, then please stay with us. This episode is for you too. We are the Ethereal Three, and what we offer you is not belief, it is perspective. So let's rethink the fourth dimension, shall we? Let's begin by addressing the most common objective. The fourth dimension is time. That statement is not wrong, but it is incomplete. In physics, particularly when the framework of within the framework of space-time, time is treated as the fourth dimension because it allows us to describe how objects move and exist across change. It gives structure to experience. But what is often left out of that explanation is something critical. And time, as you experience it, is not a fixed entity moving in one direction. It is a perception of sequence, a way your consciousness organizes reality so it can make sense of it. And your brain arranges moments into a narrative of past and present and future. But that does not necessarily mean those moments only exist in that order. In fact, Many interpretations of modern physics, especially the black universe concept, that suggests all points in time exist simultaneously, and what you experience as now is simply the point your awareness is currently focused on. So when we speak of the fourth dimension, we are not referring to a ticking clock moving forward. We're referring to a field of simultaneous realities, structured in such a way that your awareness moves through them in a sequence you interpret as time. And you are not moving through time, you are moving through states. This is where the conversation shifts from theory into lived experience. So you think you are moving through time forward as a future. But what if you are actually doing is moving through states of being? Think about your own life. There are moments where an hour feels like 5 minutes, and moments where 5 minutes feels like an hour. There are periods where everything flows effortlessly, and others where everything feels stuck, heavy, and delayed, or forced. If time were fixed, your experience of it would not fluctuate like that. What's actually changing is you, your state, your perception, your internal alignment. And as that changes, your experience of reality changes with it. So instead of imagining time as a line you are walking along, imagine reality as a vast landscape of possible experiences. And your internal state determines which part of that landscape you step into next. And this is why creating your reality gets misunderstood. When people hear you create your reality, it often sounds naive or dismissive, especially to someone who has experienced a real struggle or trauma or has limitation. It can sound like, so you're saying everything is my fault. And that's not what we are saying. You are not responsible for everything that has happened to you, but you are participating in how your reality continues to unfold. And that participation happens primarily through your state of being, not just your actions. So two people can take the same action and get completely different results, not because the action itself is different, but because the state behind it is different. One acts from fear, the other acts from certainty. One expects failure, the other expects alignment. And reality responds accordingly, not because of magic, but because your perception, your decisions, your behavior, and even your physiology all shift based on your internal state. And the bridge between science and experience, let's ground this further, okay? So your brain is constantly filtering information, and at any given moment, there are millions of bits of data available to you. But you only perceive a tiny fraction of them. Why? Because your brain prioritizes what it believes is relevant. This is governed in part by a network called the reticular activating system. If you believe opportunities are scarce, your brain filters evidence of limitation. If you believe solutions are available, your brain filters for possibility. So when your internal state shifts, you are not just feeling different, you are literally perceiving a different version of reality, making different choices, noticing different opportunities, and interacting with the world in a way that produces different outcomes. But from the inside, it feels like reality has changed. From the outside, it looks like you changed. and reality followed. Both are true. And the role of the body is interesting because this is where most people miss the depth of the work. You cannot think your way into a new reality while your body is still anchored in the old one. Let's say that again. You cannot think your way into a new reality while your body is still anchored in the old one. Your nervous system holds patterns of familiarity. What feels safe? What feels normal? If the struggle has been your baseline, which I know it has been for me many a times in my life, then ease can actually feel uncomfortable, even threatening. So when you try to create a new reality, as we just said, but your body is still operating from stress or fear or exhaustion, you create internal conflict. And that is so difficult to overcome. That conflict slows everything down. And this is why embodiment matters. Because your body is not just along for the ride. It is part of the mechanism through which you experience and select reality. And what it actually means to create from the fourth dimension? Well, creating from the fourth dimension is not about controlling outcomes or forcing results. No. It is about aligning your internal state with the version of reality you want to experience and allowing your perception, choices, and actions to naturally reorganize from there. It is subtle but powerful. Instead of asking, how do I make this happen? You begin asking, who is the version of me that already lives this? And then, what would feel natural to that version of me? Not performative, not forced, but natural. Because when your state shifts, your behavior follows without resistance. And the reason why this feels so difficult is because your past is still active within you. Not as a memory, but as a pattern. And your thoughts, your emotional responses, your physical tension, they are often echoing experiences that have already happened. So even when you try to move forward, you are carrying the past into your present and recreating it. That's that baggage comment that people always talk about. That's your baggage you're carrying around with you. It's pretty heavy sometimes for some. This is why awareness is so important. Because the moment you recognize a pattern, you create a space between you and it. And in that space, you have choice. You are not late. You are misaligned. And one of the most painful beliefs people carry around is that they are behind. That they missed something. That others figured it out sooner. That time is running out. But that belief only exists within a linear model of time. If reality is a field of possibilities, then nothing is ahead or behind. There are simply different states and you move between them. The moment your state changes, your trajectory changes as well. Not eventually, immediately. Here's a grounded way to practice this. This is not about pretending everything is perfect. Okay? It's about becoming aware enough to shift your state in real time. The next time you feel stuck, don't immediately try to fix your internal situation. Just pause for a moment. Take that slow, controlled breath. Hold yourself in that space. And then ask yourself, what state am I in right now? Then ask, what state would I need to be in to experience this differently? Not as an abstract idea, but as something you can feel in your body. Would you be more grounded, more open, more certain? And then gently begin to shift towards that state. Not perfectly, but intentionally. And over time, that shift compounds, and your reality begins to reflect it. And here's our final transmission. You are not separate from reality. You are part of the system that generates your experience of it. Your thoughts influence your perception. Your perception influences your choices. Your choices influence your outcomes. And all of it is shaped by your state of being. So when we say you are creating your reality from the fourth dimension, what we mean is this. You are not waiting for life to change. You are participating in which version of it you step into, moment by moment, state by state. We are the Ethereal Three, and we leave you with this. Not everything is within you, your control, but your state, your awareness, your alignment, those are closer to you than you've ever been taught to believe. And in them is more influence than you realize. So please, as you move through your days and through your life, walk softly, be gentle with yourself, and stay on the path of light. We bless you. Thank you. And until next time, this is Nanaiya Spirit Medicine. I'm grateful to be sharing this moment with you. God bless all of you. Thank you for being here. See you next Sunday.